Compassion is the heart of courtly grace. We must stand together. One flower alone makes no wreath. Compassion is the heart of courtly grace. virtue is our noblest heritage. We must stand together. One flower alone makes no wreath.
Hello everyone and welcome to another day of CBR, day 5 today. welcome everyone in the chat. Raiju, Kash, Curry Lightning, Chris. Welcome. To the most best content CB can ever offer us, the competitive scene and the CBR tournaments. Okay, first we speak, as always, about the picks and bans. Yeah, the save on the Siphonaris and the Star Wars. Very interesting. Both teams look like they want to play a blob and also counter a blob. At least on the picks and bans. Bans on Modaos. I don't really see why people do that. I think they came up as a kind of new idea. After they got the new doctrine and people got a feel for it, but I do not feel like they are must ban, especially if you're not banning Phalanx. It's actually pretty interesting. Kenji ban and Falconetti ban, pretty standard. Coco ban for NoScrim, so they do not want their own flames to be attacked by Cocos. Very interesting. Zealots and Lion Roar crew. Okay, I think the Zealots are a little bit more of a spicy ban. I guess, yeah, the Bandits cheese maybe showed that they have definitely some power, but I do not feel like they are massively shaping a playstyle. The only thing for NoScrim might be that these are a good counter to Star Wars. And maybe NoScrim really wants to rely on these Star Wars again, after they struggled a lot without them the last game. So yeah, that makes potentially sense to then take out one counter to the Star Wars. And I do think NoScrim really want to rely on their hero gameplay to get into the opponent Siphonaris, or maybe have their own superior flame player to do so. I think that might be the plan here, because unit pick-wise, there is only the Fire Archers left. And up that is the hero gameplay that needs to save both teams from the opposing flames. Otherwise, all these massive Star Wars they might want to bring will just get cooked by the flames. So we already hop again into the screen of the lobby so you guys can inspect the roster. Also maybe check the bands beneath if they if they fit the picture I showed you before. Other than that, we can always debate, discuss the upcoming thing. For everyone who does not know what type of game this is, who turned in maybe, this is the Rustic Division, the lowest division that we are seeing here. Yeah, I got here for casting because I promised NoScrim to cast every game of theirs. And so far, we did not get... like, we always got our entertainment. Let's put that way. Like, we always got entertainment. NoScrim did not dominate as much as I thought, like if I looked up their roster. So I do hope they get more consistent with their performance, especially since I know a lot of these players. So if it sounds like I might be a little bit on their side of if I favorite them too much, just let me know. But I try to keep it, as always, fair, balanced, and oriented on the subject and on the plays we see. On the other hand, we are here in the Rustic Division, so I will most likely implement a little bit more talk about like game mechanics and about the basics both of the teams need to improve on. Because I think that's exactly the stage where these teams are, and where they definitely need to work on their fundamentals, so they get prepared for the higher divisions. And yeah, I also do hope that these teams watch back the VODs that will remain here on Twitch, and also that will be posted on my YouTube channel. So yeah, feel free to go there. I don't know, like subscribing my YouTube channel is most likely not worth that much, because it's always only the CBR videos, and I'm currently not really planning on creating more Conqueror's Blade content on my YouTube channel, because yeah, I'm too lazy for cutting videos. And I also, like, I do feel it's hard to make content that I would watch. So yeah, and all my channels only run by the simple rule, not just like what is like making money or what is like something I think people want to see. Like my channels are run by me with the idea like that I create content I would watch myself, that I'm interested in. So yeah, that's the reason why YouTube is not that filled with shorts of crazy plays like a calf charge or whatever. I could record these, but I feel like it's a little bit pointless content. I don't know. Let me know if you see it that way. Maybe I change my opinion on it. But yeah, currently I prefer to cast these games, re-upload the stuff on YouTube just for the convenience and to save the replays, because I do think Twitch takes down the VODs for you guys after 2 weeks or something. And I cannot open them longer, unfortunately. Otherwise I would just put them on Twitch and let Twitch be the archive. But yeah, since Twitch doesn't do that anymore, we need to use YouTube as a backup. As always, I post a link on my Discord for YouTube. Also, for Chris, quick in German. Nein, ich caste nicht Yeah Buddy, weil ich den Jungs von NoScrim versprochen habe, dass ich ihre Spiele caste. Und deswegen, genau, gucken wir uns jetzt hier Rustic Division an. Und genau, ansonsten gehe ich ja auch immer so ein bisschen nach den Spielen, die mich interessieren, die ich gerne sehen möchte, weil ich die Spieler kenne, weil ich glaube, dass die Matchups vielleicht besonders spannend oder nah beieinander sind. Und ich springe durch die Divisionen. Genau, da haben wir keinen festen Plan. Außerdem darf man immer nicht vergessen, wenn ich Division 1 caste, dann bin ich immer in Konkurrenz zum Main-Channel und halt auch auf Englisch. Das ist immer gar nicht so produktiv und dann haben halt die anderen Ligen immer keinen englischen Cast. deswegen. So yeah, TLDR in English. I'm not casting every time the first league. I'm casting all the NoScrim games because I got asked to. I will also try to cast the games of Tempest Shot if it's possible. And I'm also gap filling, like in the next game that is upcoming in the, oh god, who's playing? YBAcademy game in the next time slot. I also filled the gap because no one was casting it. And yeah, also the third thing was like splitting the English caster like on 2 games also makes sense. So we have the best English coverage. And Omo Shiro, thanks a lot for the follow, buddy. I do really appreciate it. How do you still have those quests here? I have no clue about what quests you're talking. You can enlighten me, Temple. Otherwise, there's only one quest for you guys. Send me as much money as you can because I want it. Nah, jokes aside, I have no clue what quest you mean. And as always, yeah, thanks a lot for your support, guys. Even follows make me very happy so I can pass the 500 mark and I don't have to bot it. So I can be feeling as a full real content creator for the game. Even if I'm not really participating in the official program, since I didn't want to fill out 25 Google Docs every day. And we finally managed to bridge the gap until the next game is starting with the 8-minute delay. I'm actually not quite sure how we managed to take so much time, but the lobby is filled. I went to Observer and that is all we can ask for. Okay, warband-wise. Okay. We see a lot of archers here. Okay, toning down a little bit on the archers. That's actually good. To be fair, longbows can be actually pretty potent on this map because there's a lot of high ground for the attackers to snipe off opposing range and maybe even get a pick on these flames. But that requires a lot of very, very solid observation of the opponent and timing. And also, I think that fire archers are mostly better because they can even explode their flames in the blob. On the other hand, the longbows are canceling out the fire archers because of the superior range and bonus damage against range. So let's see how this is playing out. In the range matchups, it's a lot about information, positioning. On the side, we will try to keep track of it, how the range game is playing out, because I think that might be the most deciding factor here. Because the range will be the key for the easiest flame takeout, and these flames will decide the blob fight. That's at least my theory currently, what will decide the game. Okay, reducing mouse speed again, so we're getting the most smooth camera. This time I was a good streamer actually, by the way, for turning on the streamer mode beforehand, so you're not getting freaked out by random Discord notifications. And as always, we have to endure this very amazing tower pushing phase that we can use to thank Kash for his very generous follow. I do really appreciate it, buddy. Thanks a lot. And we're still waiting for the tower pushing phase. On Tour Vows, I think the most interesting thing in this tower pushing phase is taking down these war rockets here on the ground that is currently used by the Polex. That's, I think, the main goal for the defender, to take out the war rockets. The one on the bottom there, and the other one is roughly here, I think. These need to be taken out because they can fire into like semi-critical positions. Yeah, other than that, they are not that amazing. Most teams are not playing on an A-hole, so these rockets are not crazy influential, but if the right ones are up, you can shoot onto the supply. And if you have the flames out that early, they might get killed. So yeah, I do hope, and since we're in Rustic Division, it's maybe only hope. The flame player was very aware that the war rockets are gone. Otherwise, that would be a massive mistake to have a vulnerable unit that can get one-shotted even if there's a supply to heal. Okay. Quick setup here on the left tower for the attacking team, for the WildRaiders. Uncontested A, also no attempt for hero deathmatching. Both teams taking it pretty safe here. Interesting, no breach open for the B point. I do think that's potentially a mistake, because if the other team is deciding to go for the A defense, having the alternative route of making going through the open breach onto B and then pressuring the C point is a good option to just not lose too much time, because we all saw in the games before that you guys in the first time slot and I on scrims that the end cap can take some time and you need time for it. So as much as you feel like we have a lot of time on this map because you get 3 caps on the beginning, it is not that easy to crack this endpoint, and in the end you want to have every minute and not waste it on unnecessary stuff. We also had this factor massively in the Valley Fortress season, or the Valley Fortress day, where a lot of teams struggled with the time and even lost matches that they would have won otherwise because of the timer. So yeah, good practice for all teams. Do the basics very fast, get the points fast that you need to cap for free, and then get as fast as possible into your pre-push positions to immediately get the pressure onto your opponent. Also in Rustic Division, if you're very fast with your setups, you can even just outspeed opponents. Oh, this Polex player had a lot of luck that the Chain Dart was not aware and not fast enough. He could have been dead here. And yeah, please, WildRaiders, do tell me you're not doing a one-sided push here. That will be a sign up for disaster. Into like pushing in, like one-sided into a double side setup, including flames, very dangerous. Woof woof, getting taken out. Okay, and we see a pretty fast rotation here by WildRaiders to the right side. Immediately trying to get pressure on the supply, maybe. No setup by NoScrim on the supply, but immediate deathmatch before the fight. These these flames by Hamut are very far in the front and got nearly attacked by the heavy players of NoScrim. Fight is breaking out immediately. Looks like that maybe NoScrim flames got caught out of position here. The emblem is like hopping in and out. They were maybe spread out by movement and then eliminated one by one on the different sides. Also, I do not see a lot of flame bursts. Unfortunately for NoScrim, the WildRaider flames are still mostly intact, but good woof woof respawn here with the Yanyu Dao, hitting a crazy double swing into the backside. Very, very good respawn management here, immediately coming back with the Cav to wipe the fight. Good timing here. And we can even start speculating if his inting there in the backline pre-fight was like premeditated. For him to just maybe get some unit picks. If he finds the specials, even better. But die to force the push. And then have the perfect comeback timing here with the Cav to wipe the fight. But that would be very, very deep thought strategized here by NoScrim. I mean, they have players that are capable of doing so. On the other hand, maybe it's not the best idea in Rustic Division to do very elaborated plans. But here C point is getting pressured by the attacking team, while the supply gets continuously blocked and blocked, but at the cost of heroes and units. And now the question is, all these flames... Oh, okay, they are not getting wrecked by the Polex. But the C point is getting kept a lot, and so we most likely see only one more fight here by NoScrim in the defense of C. But they definitely want to take this trade here. Oh, these flames are so open, and the fight is split a lot, so they're not gaining maximum value. But a good solid salvo here on the C point. On the other hand here, the top right side is getting thinned out by the attacking team, but not enough. Also looks like they're getting also more reinforcements, so they're winning both sides most likely. The attacking team is now dripping in with the Cavs. It got pulled on the second supply. That looks like a good trade for NoScrim here. Unfortunately, they lost their flames, but it doesn't matter because they packed in enough flames into their warbands. And now they do have to make a decision. Do they try to hold the C point once more without any capability of getting or giving away some cap points? Do they think their reinforcements are coming in fast enough? Even after some deaths on their team? Do they have enough units left? Or is the respawn wave too big? No, we see already some people retreating here to the end cap. No retreating units. Doesn't look like it. And we see a very, very aggressive counter push here onto the front supply to reinforce at the very front line here. The attacking team did not manage to hold them off the resupply, so they have to take the big reset, which will cost a lot of time. And sorry, I had to take a sip. My voice was running dry already. Okay, flames and longbows now for the attacking team. I'm actually not quite sure if these longbows are the best unit for this situation. I do think on the end cap they might have done something, or maybe even here on the supply fight. But here from the ground, also into this current setup here by NoScrim, not the best unit, because they absolutely do not really provide a lot of DPS into shielded blobs. Also huge fire archers here by NoScrim shooting into the blob. Quick rotation once again to the front supply. Now the question is, where are they pushing? Okay. Going here towards the back supply. Good idea to fight next to it so they can block it. But they definitely need to block it, and I do not like these longbows here on the ground. Oh, some heroes getting picked before the fight. What type of throw is this? Oh, this is... No! This is not how you push this. Guys, we talked about it before the first push. You do not want to push into this double-sided flames-driven setup through a choke, especially not after losing heroes before the fight. Very, very basic mistakes here, and this might be very costly for WildRaiders, and they might just get melted here in this choke. I mean, their own flames are now doing at least something. And the spear and shields giving them some space at the top with their kicks, but now good Polex dive by Rosetten Kasper into the range and special camp. Unfortunately for him, he was not taking out too much. And the fight is still ongoing. The supply for the attacker is not really blocked, but the unit trade is getting worse and worse. for them because they're not having a lot of units left. And now the big reinforcement wave for NoScrim dripping in as well. Getting a hold, maybe two side again. And these flames are retreating back. And it looks like now NoScrim is getting the final hold on this choke again. Dropping down the unit trade further and further. Also, time is running low. 4 minutes. This is already making a full reset nearly impossible because they have no units and they have no time. And good push here onto the supply by NoScrim. Getting them blocked, getting them no chance for resetting and farming off the team when it's halved. Very, very good decision here by NoScrim. Also good, very good aggressive hero dives here into the special hits onto the backside of the opponent units. There we see the individual class of the experienced players of NoScrim. Also the other flank here with a very solid Rattan unit driven push into shields. That gets suicide trapped. But in the end it will not matter. 500 units for NoScrim, 200 for the attacking WildRaiders. And they keep dying one by one to the main blob. And now the remaining units here that are intact will be getting mated from two sides. Omoshiroi also here already in the back, and this is how we want to see our pole axis. Aggressive in the back of Star Wars. That's how you do the most damage. That's how you're effective. Beautiful finish here. And that leaves us only with the question, how is game 2 going to be? Will we see the same type of organization in the fights? Will we see a different spot than the C plateau for defense from WildRaiders? Will they come up with something very spicy? Because Turo Varus gives us a lot of opportunities where the map can be played, where the pushes can happen, where you can defend. A lot of questions that might get answered after a very, very intense waiting of 2 minutes. Because the slaughtering has to continue just by a little bit. Currently, we are not seeing any dropouts, but I'm awaiting them in the very next seconds. Because there is no chance anymore for WildRaiders to really take something on this map. Even taking C, if they could, it would just prolong their suffering and not get them closer to winning. Unfortunately, there's also no points given out for, you know, like getting more percentage of a map or something. So yeah, they're currently just fighting for the honor with a full set of phalanx. How sad that these amazing boys, the phalanx, the best unit in the game, at least for my taste, is not put to efficient use, just slaughtered in the end by overwhelming forces. Still no reconnects. Usually I would definitely recommend this team for being brave and fighting until the very last drip of blood. But in this case, I definitely want to get myself a drink to smoothen up my voice. So, guys, please drop out. This is as good as over. Okay, I will call it here GG. Go into a very short break so I can get myself a tea, because I desperately need something. And yeah, we will come back in the second game. NoScrim versus WildRaiders. And guys, we are back with the bans. As a quick reminder for you guys, Saved Civinari, Star Wars, Modao, Shenji, Falconetti, Coco, Zealots, and Lion Crow crew banned. So the special selection or the unit comps were heavily revolving around shields with some variation of archers, like fire archers as a very, very good tool to crack the flames. And also we had some longbows to maybe hunt these fire archers. That's what I also expect for the second game, since there's not too much incentive for defending or attacking position to massively swap out units. But we might be surprised what NoScrim is cooking here, or maybe where the WildRaiders are defending. So we are quickly hopping also already in the screen for our lobby. Nearly every player filled in so far. Casters also in their slots, so we are waiting for the last players to join the correct site and make it into the lobby. And then we are definitely good to go. And of course, super hyped. As always, I definitely root a little bit for the NoScrim guys, because I know a lot of these guys personally. But I also do want to see them grow, improve, and become one of these tier 1 teams. Because even if they said they're just there to have fun without scrimming or without a lot of scrimming, I would love to see these players absolutely using all of their potential and entertain us. And also maybe play against me, because I had this discussion with a friend today. I definitely want to see a maximum strong first division where everyone can beat everyone. So we have the maximum tension, the maximum rivalry, and also a little bit more stress for every player involved, and more excitement for the viewers. So we cannot predict who is winning against whom. I think that is always, one of the better scenarios for enjoying these games. That's why I like this Rustic League a lot. I had very hard times to perfectly predict who's going to win and how the games will be turning out. So that's definitely a huge upside, at least for me, when it comes to deciding which games to watch. And so far, Rustic Division did not disappoint me. Same with actually the second division. Like the second division games I casted were pretty interesting. I had a good time watching YBAcademy. For example, there's also a lot of people I know, so of course, like, that makes it more interesting for me. But also the display, or what these like mid-tier teams basically, or like middle division teams are pulling out off, is very, very interesting. Because they are basically in the stage between being very freshly funded and unexperienced, and being a very seasoned veteran team. And we will also see one of these games afterwards. At 20:00, we are hopefully starting that game. Also to Rovarus, the map is not changing, as you guys all know. We're all playing the same map week by week. So, dear gents in the organization, pop this lobby, give us entertainment. We already have to endure a tower pushing phase. And you guys know, tower pushing phases are very, very boring. And I definitely appreciate a lot if you guys give me something I can talk about. Very interesting warbands here. I didn't expect a lot of changes, but what we see is slingshots. 2 sets of slingshots immediately pulled for the beginning. So what are they going to try? What are they trying to cheese? Are they trying some A-hold potentially? Maybe deny one tower? Is slingshot DPS enough? I'm actually not quite sure. Do they want to ensure that the breach is getting destroyed and Sally? But their warbands do not really scream Sally. Okay. I'm perfectly confused. I don't know about you guys. This is a setup for great entertainment, not knowing what's coming. So please, NoScrim, cook something interesting. As always, we want to see the most interesting, craziest strategies that will surprise us and excite us at the same time. And maybe we all learn something about new viable strats. But for now, it looks like a pretty classical hold. Okay. Here on the plateau as well. But what are the slingshots doing? We are going on the hunt. What are the slingshots doing? Okay, they're throwing immediately at the breach, so it might be the preparation for a crazy breach rush, right? Dual blades also going up in double. Maybe for some action here in the beginning, we can definitely go in on this unique and Tyke. Very, very well-known duo. Getting out some aggression, but maybe deciding it's not worth the risk trying to kill a Polex that might have a pin. And maybe if a push is very close to happening, it would be a massive mistake. Yeah, so not going for the pick, a good idea. But currently I'm not quite sure what the slingshot's job was. If they were just a filler to get the breach down easier, okay. But for now, it did not really look like they got a massive advantage strategically from it. Because A is not getting defended. At least for now, it's not looking like it. And also, they didn't rush to the B point immediately. They took their time. The defenders also took the time to not go for B or A. Solid hero scouting here in the middle. And maybe some counter push action. WildRaiders definitely decided to be more aggressive here on the defense. Holding up on the front supply, not waiting on the plateau. It looked like they might have gone for attacking the rotation here. Not the absolute worst idea if the attackers are split up a little bit too much. But that requires a lot of quick reaction in the whole team. And here we see NoScrim taking also A for free. A little bit unfortunate. Always if maps are very dominated by 3 points to be taken. Because it delays the action very, very long. And you guys know me. I'm very, very craving for action. I need a lot of action. I need fast action. I do not want to wait. And I'm actually also not good at waiting. Okay, we see a very classical rotation here over towards the supply. But no units so far on the bottom. I'm actually not quite sure if this is the thing I want to see from NoScrim. Because it will lock them into this choke. And they will not have a lot of good opportunities to use the space on the bottom here. To punish maybe aggressive positioning here from the side, here from the back. Okay. YBAcademy are still not buying it totally. They are not rotating over. But they definitely could. And they're giving a lot of space here to NoScrim. That's actually a huge mistake. Full free rotation. NoScrim free space taking. They're getting onto the crossroad uncontested. I do think it's a mistake by WildRaiders. Also losing the front supply at the same time. And now they're coming in from two sides. A little bit delayed by WildRaiders. Getting held by a shield wall of a few units. So the main side is getting wiped by NoScrim in the meantime. Also the supply is getting blocked. That is very important. Both supplies are currently not available for WildRaiders. And with a good and solid and very dense blob, they made it onto the supply, so the supply is blocked. Now also good trap position here for NoScrim. And all they got here, they got from WildRaiders not moving, from them not reacting to the rotation, even if it was not that fast. And here we see definitely, yeah, Rustic Division rotation speed and reaction speed. Maybe they did expect a different kind of push. And they were definitely not reacting correctly and they were not reacting fast. And that results in a very convincing vibe here for NoScrim against the WildRaiders. They got the supply in the meantime, but it makes no difference because it can get blocked and taken back anyway. And now if they go for the C point, most likely they will get massacred one by one. I do not see a good opportunity for them and they will absolutely waste away tons of units if they keep going out here. Because at this bridge they will get trapped, they will get farmed, they have no structure in their team and they definitely desperately need to reset, guys. Do not push through this choke out, you're just getting farmed. Very, very unlucky decision making here, or bad decision making. I guess this is Rustic Division, unfortunately also. They are making mistakes, they are playing not to their best advantages. And they are losing a lot of units here. And here, NoScrim is in the perfect position to win this game already. They have more than 10 minutes now for the end cap. A massively one unit rate already. And they can just brute force push if they want to. But they should not cap at the same time with 5 heroes. Come on, guys. Nah. I know you have the better unit rate, but don't waste. Good Cav here into the flames. By Woof Woof. Also very good glaive action here. Immediately taking out the flames. So it even doesn't matter if they're not pushing with their full force. Defenders were also not fully in their position because they died pre-push a lot. So I do understand why NoScrim went for this push. Even if I thought it might have been better to wait just a little bit longer. But they calculated better than me. And they definitely went for this winning push. Killing the flames was crucial, but now the Cav reinforcements are the crucial thing that needs to die. Oh, the Cav wiping black. I'm not quite sure if they should have not wiped the fire archers here, because these fire archers are also dealing a lot of damage. Semi-dangerous trap here, but now the fight looks kinda even. NoScrim might call in for a reset. The flames are not really committing. But a lot of phalanx is still in the fight. I guess the flames were waiting just a little bit for some frontline with the paladins here. Yeah, timing with the reinforcements is not too bad. They might just take over the fight once again with double flames now. I'm not quite sure if this is the thing. But it looks like the frontline is holding. So then double flames are dealing crazy damage. Also, Hero Dive getting denied by Tyke and his dual blade, mainly. Marzipan and Gary Sue dealing with the other dive attempt. And now the double flames are massively cooking this blob. I'm quite sure this was not intended to play double flames, but it turned out beautiful. And yeah, we see what happens when flames are not getting contested by the correct units, not by hero gameplay. And then the dense flame blobs are unbeatable. Yeah, solid trap here on the top of the stairs. So please guys, do not over push into your own trap. I always hate it when someone puts this amazing trap here to kill reinforcements and everyone just greed pushes into them and sends the player for the good trap down on the bottom of the scoreboard. But here the perfect timings were happening. Late dive onto the flames. But I guess no one cares anymore. Very, very convincing and methodical approach by NoScrim. But I do think this game was also actively lost by WildRaiders by not immediately getting getting aggressive. When they moved down the stairs, they should have been already closer and just immediately caught them in the very very tiny choke there on the bottom of the stairs. Do not give them the movement opportunities so they can't block the supply and then just block their supply. Use your own double unit down. That would have been the move. And that was their best chance to get a really good unit rate. So yeah, unfortunately, this one bad decision made the whole game unwinnable. AP also with 79 unit kills. Kingo here. Yeah, not too impressive, but that happens when you're getting absolutely farmed. Charm on the other side with a very impressing 170 unit kills, not even with a crazy use of his hero. But King's 96 star awards, well played. And as always, the scoreboard is messed up. So if you want to track performance of your favorite player, you should just look into it. We just highlight here Tai with an amazing 11-1 dual blade performance. Solid damage for a competitive match. 140,000 is not crazy, but definitely very solid. And 11 kills speak for themselves, so we got a lot. Well done. And we are leaving the lobby. Give me at least some time to recover my voice a little bit. And then we'll see us in the next game of YBAcademy versus Kermit, I think. So yeah, see you after the break. Get yourself a snack, go to the toilet, and then we are ready in roughly 13 minutes.
Compassion is the heart of courtly grace. We must stand together. One flower alone makes no wreath. flower alone makes no wreath. Compassion is the heart of courtly grace.
Hello, hello everyone, and welcome back to our second game, or in general the third game of the evening. And I'm quickly updating for you guys the unit bans that we definitely have to speak about before the game is starting. As long as the lobby is filling, we can definitely go in and find out. Coco safe for YBAcademy and KermitAcademy going for the Siponari safe. So yeah, very standard unit saves so far. Also, Atmuts, thanks a lot for the follow, man. Also, GG's to everyone in the chat who wrote GG. Very fair. I think a lot of them are members of NoScrim. Yeah, so thanks a lot, guys. Being fair, I definitely appreciate it. Then the bans. Shenji Grenadiers, Star Wars, actually, okay. Phalanx ban, Lion Roar ban, Incendiary Archer ban, Rattan Viper ban. Okay, we definitely have to think about what is left to counter these Siponaris besides Kokos. Nothing particularly. So we definitely have to see some hero gameplay to make a big difference here for taking out these Siponaris. Anti-Kev, I mean, as always, you know, like if you ban Phalanx, for example, yeah, it's pretty nice, but like in the end, there is still Modao open. So I do not feel like you're going for these like anti-Kev bans. I don't think it is worth it. Banning these specials definitely has a big influence on how the game is played. That makes sense. But banning Modao or Phalanx makes absolutely zero difference for most of the war bans. If you ban both and you want to run Cuff heavy, might make sense, but it's also then like super telegraphed what you want to do. And there's still enough anti-Kev left in the game to make your day very bad. For example, like blue arbalists shredding down Kev left and right. So yeah, like I'm not a fan of the Star Wars ban, but maybe they YBAcademy ran out of good ideas what they want to ban without cutting their own plan. That might be an explanation, at least for me. And as always, if you have a better idea why you think certain things happen, always put them in the chat. I definitely appreciate some different perspective. And as long as I'm casting solo here, it's always nice to get a second input from the chat. And I think we can swap over into the lobby. Lobby is nearly filled. You can inspect the rosters. So you're getting an idea who is doing what, and who might be your favorite player you want to support and watch out for. As I said before, like I definitely know the YBAcademy players better. So I might be a little bit driven to their side. I might be a little bit too excited about what they do, but on the other hand, I think I'm doing an okay job of critiquing both sides for their shortcomings, for what they do great. I think I'm also highlighting it, and we always try to be fair here. So yeah, as always, also in the chat, be fair towards these teams, even if some players do something you think is stupid or does not make sense. We want to treat it respectfully, because it's always easier to sit here in the overview with the hands on in our pockets, on our knees, beneath the table, or doing things we are not speaking about here, and then judging afterwards about what is happening. It is always easier, so yeah, be respectful towards these players, putting out themselves in public with their performance, because without them, we would not have this great entertainment and not this nice of a Sunday evening. Also, if you guys are watching this tournament and you feel like, oh, that looks cool, that looks fun, how do I get into contact? Go onto the CBR Discord and yeah, try to join a team. Maybe not for this season anymore, because the season has progressed a lot already. But maybe for the next season, get into contact with teams. Try to get in. start scrimming, start learning the competitive game. We always need new players that fill all our divisions. Like, I mean, if you're already amazing, of course, maybe you join Division 1 immediately. Or if you want to get fresh into it, maybe Rustic Division is better for you. But definitely for the sake of our entertainment and also to maintain the league as good as possible, we need a lot of new players, people that are interested in playing the game competitively. Because at least for me, this is the by far best content the game has to offer. So yeah, you guys are definitely invited to come over. I will put you... I will give you the homepage. I think that's the best idea. I will put it in the chat. There you will also find all the dates, what is happening, who is playing against who, what are the teams' logos, etc. All the new info will be presented on the homepage as well. And yeah, also I think they have the link their Discord there, so you can also get in touch via this Discord. Via this homepage. It's posted now in the chat, so you guys are perfectly prepared. Okay, and we are finally in the popped lobby, inspecting the unit warbands. I think nothing too special because we see a lot of Modaos on both sides since Phalanx is banned. We see some Zealots to counter the shields, but I don't know like how much they are needed to do so because we also have the Cocos and the Flames on both sides. But maybe they are a backup disruption idea. Otherwise, it's basically the 4-unit green, purple, gold mix that we are used to. So nothing really special. But I will definitely put you guys also my YouTube link, where the VODs will be posted somewhere during the night. Because yeah, we are uploading from YouTube, Twitch to YouTube. That takes some time, not influenced by my upload speed. It is a bit slower. But yeah, I do not have to get data on my PC and upload again, etc. So I can still watch Netflix without getting annoyed afterwards. So yeah, feel free to check out the homepage of the CBR to get in contact and to get information, or my YouTube channel where I'm uploading the VODs afterwards. So you can enjoy everything I casted today. Maybe you watched the YBAcademy game versus Story Enjoyers beforehand. That was definitely an amazing game to watch as far as I know, what my little birds told me. So if you watch that, you can definitely enjoy the NoScrim game on YouTube. Most likely tomorrow, so like tomorrow during work in the evening, you have your chance on my YouTube channel. Posted in the chat. Okay, enough advertisement. I hope the tower pushing phase is fast over. And we see YBAcademy take everything that is not defended as fast as possible, so we are getting into the action as soon as possible. Because old men like me need very fast action, so we're not getting bored. Life is too short for endless tower pushing phases. Breach is getting opened. Some hero presence is still on the wall, but it looks like KermitAcademy is definitely going to see plateau for a hold. A little bit boring for my taste when everyone is playing this plateau. But it's also understandable since this is a very, very good position to start rotating. Also, hello Queen, welcome to the chat. Thanks for coming over. I guess you were enjoying the YBAcademy versus Story Enjoyer game beforehand. So yeah, you should definitely check out tomorrow on YouTube what the NoScrim game was doing. pretty solid performance. Interesting to watch. And quick A take here for YBAcademy. Also quick B take. I guess that's one of the downsides if you're like very secure in your ways and you're immediately running back with your units to your final position. The attackers can just not waste any time, immediately go for only hero caps, and they will get more time on the end cap. I don't know. I guess it's more risky to bait a little bit more in the front. And maybe that's a little bit too advanced for second division, but I think it would be worth a try. To at least, you know, like hold this front supply or something. And pressure a little bit with heroes towards this A point. So the attacker is losing a little bit of time. Because time is crucial, not as much on this map as, for example, on Valley Fortress, where we definitely had this problem a lot. But yeah, giving up everything for free is not the way. And also AFKing your heroes here, like this is, nah, come on. Guys, this guy, you deck this Polex solo capping supply should have been dead. You have a chain dart, you could have had like 5, 6, 7, 8 heroes immediately bursting the guy. Guys, use your hero. I know it's not as important as it was in the past, but it is good practice, and small advantages can turn into big advantages. And we see a very solid and interesting split action here. And YBAcademy bringing out the Falconettis. We definitely saw this from YBA as well. YBA also huge Falconetti enjoyers. I'm still not convinced totally by Falconettis. But as long as it's working, and for YBA it is definitely working a lot of the times, I cannot critique it too much. Do I see it correctly? It's actually double flames. This is a lot of specials for YBAcademy. But that's definitely not a huge front line. So they definitely can't lose any of them pre-fight. But they are pretty blessed. KermitAcademy is not looking like they're trying to give their musket a good hero presence here on the front to pre-fight take out specials. Falconettis on the wall, getting a free rotation, and KermitAcademy staying passive. And we saw it in the game before, it is not the best idea to go full passive here. It's not a desirable fight if your opponent has a very good chance to control both of the supplies. Because this supply here in the front is very easy to immediately block. This supply is easier to protect by far. And definitely YBAcademy here with a very, very good choice of the battlefield. Ah, beautiful trap. Forcing the rotation into the trap, maybe. And also putting the opponent in a lose-lose situation because they get time to set up their specials. KermitAcademy with a solid rotation and reaction. Going here behind the pillar. Not getting immediately hit by the Falcos. Falcos now open and very good salty dive into the backline. Zora and Scare are immediately jumping in. This is maybe a weaker spot for YBAcademy because they have tons of specials and they are capable of getting flanked here. So very, very dangerous, and these hero dives are definitely doing a good job. Nonetheless, the specials had a long time to cook, and it looks like they already won the unit trade. So losing them is not that problematic. And thanks a lot, Queen, for being so generous, donating 10 subs to the community. So nearly everyone here in the chat, it feels like, got a very deserved sub for supporting the channel. Thanks a lot, Queen. Yeah, extending her lead on the all-time scoreboard to 130 totally donated subs. Thanks a lot for the support. So yeah, you guys have to see my beautiful face on this C-cap. So you at least get some on-screen action because the fight already is over. KermitAcademy closed the gate, pulled back towards the end cap, but it looks like they might go for a re-attack here. I'm not a fan. Like, these re-attacks, I am not that convinced. But YBAcademy has a lot of units to come, and they're losing actually units to these cavs. But now the Star Wars Flames and Modaos are in place and are slaughtering the KermitAcademy units. And now everything that's coming out right now is a waste. Nah. Don't do this, guys. We saw it also in the first game. And yeah, WildRaiders did this mistake, and I thought it was like more a mistake out of the, like, they had a lack of experience, maybe. Maybe that was the problem, I thought. But KermitAcademy definitely have a good influence from experienced players. And I feel that this type of mistake should not happen. But the gate close. The gate close once again saves them a little bit of time. They might be capable of resetting a little bit. But yeah, frontline units dying in the front. Reinforcing Kokos will also just die here. Very unfortunate timing. Individual mistakes here. Bringing down these Kokos, yeah, so late, so they couldn't help in the first place. And now they're getting rolled because they're too early on the battlefield here. Very, very sad to see these mistakes here in the end. But yeah, maybe they played too passive in the beginning and then did not have the confidence for good decision making. I mean, 2 is one of these maps that is not as long in the rotation for a lot of these tournaments. So people do not have the experience on player and shot caller side. And maybe these academy teams rely a little bit more on the experience from the shot callers. That definitely might be the case. But very unfortunate, because it ends this game way sooner than it should have. And this setup here on the top of the stairs, getting hit by this very good and very standard trap. There is the massive hit onto the flames, but some models still live. Heroes are getting picked on the point bit by bit, but now this is just the last twitching of a dead team. Even if they retake this end cap, the unit rate has already gone down. Brace. Not a very fortunate brace here for the Hellbats. Lukev makes it through. But yeah, by the Academy, they can just call in for a quick little reset. They do not need to keep going. But I think it does not even need the reset. They can just keep spamming. They win anyway. Very unfortunate. I think it was, again, this very, very interesting cascade of mistakes we already seen in the last game on this channel, where the defenders like do absolutely passively play the C plateau and try to overcompensate their passiveness with a crazy counterattack into an already set up attacker that can reinforce like 2 meters nearby on this supply. And I don't know where this... Maybe it's an overcompensation by the shot caller, because I am not quite sure if people really plan to play like this. But yeah, I think if it was intended to play like this, back to the drawing board, and next time I do hope we see a better idea of how to play this map. With maybe some more early aggression. Because both teams that played passive on the C plateau got absolutely murdered. And yeah, now we have a chance to see how YBAcademy is going to do it. And I definitely hope we do not see this mistake the 3rd time in a row. But guys, we will find out after the short break, after honoring our MVPs here. IXC Rasa on the one side, and on the other side, we also, come on, Ein BZH. I'm actually not quite familiar with this name, but very solid MVP performance here, killing all the zealots. Okay. See you guys after a very short break, where I drink my tea to fuel my voice. And we will be back in 1 or 2 minutes. And we are back after our very short break that I used to get a good sip of my tea. And I hope you guys did as well. Get yourself a drink, get yourself a snack, or a quick toilet break, because we are up to see the second game of YBAcademy versus KermitAcademy. I also gave you the quick reminder of the unit picks and bans that you can quickly see on the screen, and then we are tabbing right back into the casting screen to see the lobby, where you guys can maybe identify for game number 2 your favorite player that you want to watch, that you want to support, or you maybe want to have an eye off because you might not like them. So you can be a little bit hate watching this individual player, but as always, definitely keep your hate inside yourself, because we definitely want to praise these players here for giving us content that we can enjoy on a Sunday evening. And yeah, speaking about the defense of YBAcademy, I'm definitely interested if they also go for this plateau hold and how they will play it, because I do think playing this plateau like super passively is one of the worst ways to play it. Because in general, this plateau position, I think the strength of the position is that you are in the middle of every rotation path, and it sets you up for, you know, like out-rotating the attacker and being faster in actually good positions. But staying on the plateau is actually a bad position, because you can get trapped there a lot. If you're waiting in the middle, kind of, you're also not having chokes you can abuse with your flames. Because the way flames work is, in general, like the defender has the advantage that the attacker needs to come around the corner, so they have the first salvo into the attacker, and they might even kill the opposing flames before they can use their first fire shot. So what you want to do as a defender is get into the choke before the attacker. And on this map, on this plateau, it's actually very possible, because the attacker has to rotate around the outside of the circle, where you can rotate through the inside of the circle. And all of you amazing mathematicians, you guys already know the inside route in the circle is always better than going around the radius. So yeah, they have a massive speed advantage, and they could get a massive flames advantage out of it. So that's definitely what you need to abuse, not sitting in the middle like a frightened little mouse in front of a snake. That's definitely not how you want to play it. But maybe YBAD is doing the same, or YBAcademy is doing the same, and surprises me and makes everything I said right now absolutely false. And they manage to sit in the middle and wait and still win. But yeah, I definitely doubt it. KermitAcademy have a lot of capable players, so this is definitely not a matchup where one side just massively outskills the other side on an individual level. At least from my perspective, I can't identify a massive player skill advantage on either of the sides. So making strategical mistakes will definitely play a role, and we might have a good chance of learning what strategies are working and what strategies are not the way to go. Locker also asking in the chat, did the Falcos really work? I would argue they might have worked to give them the space to get the supply for free, because maybe KermitAcademy was afraid of the Falconettis, and they did not want to fight closer to the stairs because of it. Then the Falconettis were a massive win, if that was the case. But in case, you know, like if you see the battle impact of the Falconettis, how much they cracked, how long it took the opposing team to take them down, I would say they will not have a huge impact. And every other type of unit, like a set of Cocos, a set of Flames, a set of whatever infantry would have been better. But they definitely, and I think the more I think about it, it makes more and more sense I think they gave them the room to go down from these stairs towards the top supply. And that is already enough of a reason to take this unit. But I do think afterwards, the Falconetti player, maybe should have even swapped directly on the supply. Just get rid of the Falconetti, pull a Cav, come a little bit delayed to the fight and wipe with a Cav. That would have been 1,000 times better. Because they were fighting in the open and fighting in a very open space with like 3-4 like special or vulnerable units is not the best idea. And they got a little punished for it. But in the end, it made no huge difference because YBAcademy played a really solid blob, played way together and farmed them way too hard with this special stack before even the hero dives mattered. Yeah, I would say Falconettis did their job, but they are not impressive in fights as we also expected them to not be impressive in fights. So maybe Falconettis are more impressive for poking and denying certain positions or making certain positions more unattractive. Maybe that was the biggest win of them. And we will also see KermitAcademy bringing these Falcos as well. So maybe they're doing a kind of mirrored push strategy over the wall. And we will see if YBAcademy is playing this differently. Because I think you can split your defending forces into maybe even 3 pieces at the bottom of the stairs. So the Falconettis cannot wreck everything. But the important part about it is the timing. You need to let Kermit come down to the bottom in a position where you can catch them. From 3 sides, all 3 sides need to be coordinated well. So the shot calling needs to be absolute on point. And then you can even counter the Falconettis in this top position, like right here. But that requires a lot of skill from the individual players, a good coordination and shot calling. And it needs every player of the team to be fully aware of what the conditions are under which you want to push or where you want to wait. And maybe that's for a little bit too much for an academy team. On the other hand, they have a lot of talented and experienced players in YBAcademy as well. So from all the second division teams, maybe they are the team that is most likely to play that way. But the first thing is an A-hold by YBAcademy. That is interesting. I like to see that. And I think now is the moment where KermitAcademy is realizing, okay guys, we are the special team, we are not getting A for free. And I do hope they have an adequate strategy where they can take this A point. They're bringing up the muskets. But the muskets need space. Actually, the nameplates are bugging a little bit here. Okay. Some kill drops. By the way, they look absolutely beautiful with a new legendary, or the semi-new legendary. But here we see something I was speaking about beforehand. YBAcademy just baited to waste some more time. This is exactly what I mean. Like, YBAcademy already showing the good practice here, and they definitely show that they want to play in the first division. When they're attempting these little moves that ensure they're wasting just a little bit more time. And it's not, it's not a game-breaking move, but it's just adding up small advantages. And that's something you need to start practicing as soon as possible to get these things going as basics. Because little mistakes add up to big mistakes. Little advantages add up to big advantages. And then you can also beat the big teams, the stronger teams, when you learned all these basics and implemented them perfectly in your way of playing the game. But they're also sitting here on the plateau, and now we can definitely put YBAcademy to the test and see if they are playing this plateau hold smarter than KermitAcademy before. Or if I'm just totally wrong with my prediction about how this fight is going, and they just sit there passively and win anyway. That's also a potential outcome, and then you guys can clip it and share it, that I absolutely did not understand how this plateau works. But as always, I'm here also to learn and understand the game better, and I'm definitely appreciating if these teams prove me wrong and show me something that is actually really, really good. And we see, okay, a capture so far on the supply on the left side. So do we see a crazy rotation over the end cap? And what is the correct answer to this? I mean, to be fair, end cap cannot be touched. C point needs to be kept before. So where do they want to defend them? Defend them. As always, do not fight on this bridge. This bridge is bad. Here by the academy, bad. And I think it looks like they're realizing it. And they definitely need to let them come at least to, like, onto the C point, I think. That's the moment to strike for here by the academy. Because then they have the flanks here from the top supply. They also can work off, like, at least two different angles here from the front, so they are not fully getting wrecked by the trap, because this part of the plateau is trappable. On the other hand, if they wait until here, they might give KermitAcademy the rotation towards the supply. Which I think might be even the better option for YBAcademy. If they're baiting them into getting into this road, they have a clear two-sided flame angle. I'm not a fan. This is too early. This is too early, guys. Come on, don't troll this. We definitely have to zoom in a little bit to see the action happening. Okay, Falco impact pretty low, not crazy hits here, but some delay in the blob. Right side flames are cooking, but getting immediately attacked by 3 heroes. But the left side flames are not attacked, and they are full cooking the blob. Beautiful double-sided setup. Even, I mean, maybe the grab was, like, onto the blob was a little bit early. But since KermitAcademy was splitting up by themselves very aggressively, they still got a very solid two-sided fight. And now the Cavs roll in. Supply was not blocked early enough, but now the short sword is on it. And is gone, and now YBAcademy can keep pulling and wipe the rest of the units. But the trap taxes some more units. Supply is blocked once again, and now the question is, what is faster, the respawners or the repull of YBAcademy? I do think the repull might be faster. And we do not see an instant retreat or a C rush. I think they might try to go for another organized fight. Time-wise, that's absolutely okay. They have 8 minutes left, so maybe they push on minute 7. But yeah, they're good time-wise, and going for a more organized push might be the best idea here. Also, greetings to Junkfoot in the chat. I'm actually not quite sure if Chapel is playing. I think he's not playing. I didn't see him in the lobby, and I think I would have realized. But definitely you underestimate him. I think Chapel is by far the best dual blade, like, in the universe. But it might be even out of universe, you know, like he might be even better than that. I'm very sure. And YBAcademy muskets going aggressive, trying to do as much damage as they can to vulnerable units in the blob. They might find some of the Arbalists. Very good abuse of this, like, high ground position. You can only punish it, by the way, like, if you either go here or back here to get up to these muskets. But yeah, that is something where the heavy players or the melee players need to go aggressive pretty early. And now we see right side rotation here from the bottom. No space needed on the top. But now the Falco's on the supply. Okay, the Falco is doing some damage and I guess it will be immediately pulled. I would argue that the Kev is getting pulled. But very solid blob here by KermitAcademy. But also solid blob is a good target for the cooks. The cooks are hitting right in the middle and they might explode the flames. Also good Kev flank here by Alpine. And it looks like the blue waves of Kev are taking some units off the red blob of KermitAcademy. But they're not dying as much as we might have thought. And now the Hussars come. Oh, this Hussar did definitely hurt. The supply block is not getting consistent. Good pulls by YBAcademy. And it looks like these shields are standing there pretty uninvolved. I was really asking myself what they did. I think they might provide enough frontline. But now the supply block is getting more consistent. And this might be enough to throw back YBAcademy onto the end cap. Unit rate is pretty even. So if they get C, they have a solid chance, KermitAcademy, to win this map and to draw the game. But now some YBA respawns are coming in. And this Kev might wipe enough and in a fast pace. Come on. This Kev does not look the greatest. What is this Kev doing? Stop V-mode brawling. Charge it. You need to wipe as fast as possible, guys. So that you can pull. And not run the risk of getting interrupted once again. But they got a lot of units out. And now the rush of KermitAcademy is coming. But these Kevs just might get murdered. Oh, they're making it deep through. Very, very good Kev here from the Polex. Because most of the YBA blob, including the anti-Kev, already went to the front trying to hold a C point. And now the chaos is breaking out. Supply not contested right now. YBA can keep pulling. But they are burning a lot of units that way. And this is looking actually really good for KermitAcademy. They might really get this point with a good unit rate.
Our legend makes us immortal.
But YBAcademy is putting in more and more units, and it looks like the KermitAcademy reinforcements are not coming as fast. Even AFK shields, what are these shields doing? Are they calling in for a reset? I hope they're calling in for a reset. They have 3 minutes. Unit rate got worse again. And these shields are AFK. So I think them. Or the player died. But then please retreat. What are we seeing here? The miracle of the shields. Is it the dead player not retreating? Is it the reset that got called? I mean, they have a slight unit advantage now. But why are they... Oh! No, no, no. This is not how it works. You cannot AFK these sheets and then yeet Kev into anti-Kev. This is not how it works, my friends. This is not how it works. Okay, but now here we see the reset. 2 minutes, 40 seconds here on the clock. So they need to move at a very solid... Okay, what is this? Okay. I'm not quite sure if the Helots are meant to be used like this. I think you really want to build them closer to the front line. Also because of like how the buff works. I think better buff duration or longer buff duration in the relevant area comes with later putting the supply. But now the units are buffed and ready to go. In YBAcademy, they definitely do need to play the timing. They cannot lose the C point or they will get killed on the end cap. They lost the unit rate. This trap, not the greatest. Arguably not even good. Like right here on the top or here in the front would have been way better. But maybe it doesn't matter anyway. KermitAcademy pushing deep. Some hero divers in the back onto the Helots. Arbalest did not really get value because they couldn't get up the stairs. But the infantry blob looks strong. And these Rattan units are definitely eating also the YBAcademy shields. Good flanks by the Cavs from KermitAcademy. But now the time is running low, and that's now the only question. Unit trade stopped mattering right now, because the unit trade is won by KermitAcademy. If they take the C point, the game is basically and practically over for YBAcademy. So they definitely need to time their jumps onto the point well. They should not waste HP. They definitely need to rotate their heals. And there is the hero that might win them the game. The Spear Sergeants. If they manage to get onto the point, it's a huge time waste for the attacker. They got stopped before the point, but they definitely gave space to the heavy players. Baker now on the point. Archon next to the point. Now he's Locharing on the point. Mother God, hop on. Communication not perfectly on point. Tumewiese, you need to jump. IP now and Tumewiese on the point. Some units making it through. Lily QT waiting here in the side. Very smart. Waiting and healing. Ready to jump. They need to get 15 seconds over. Some heroes onto the point. But their swaps are not clean. They're like losing 1 or 2 seconds every time they need to swap the player on the point. The musket rolled off and the point has fallen. All the YBAcademy units are dead, and that looks like KermitAcademy is taking this very close game. And they will break the gate. 3 minutes for the end cap. That will be enough with this absolute amazing unit trade in the end. YBAcademy with slight mistakes there in the execution of the jumping on the point, but the fundamentals were there definitely. And no shame to lose like this in a very close game. And that's how we get us a draw here on Turevaros between KermitAcademy and YBAcademy. GG's to both teams. The end was absolute cinematic and super entertaining. And I definitely appreciate this type of games. It looks like these teams were in the correct league, getting a good matchup that is perfectly entertaining. And now we see the last twitching of YBAcademy, showing good attitude, jumping the endpoint as well, trying to, delay the undeniable win from KermitAcademy. GG's. And we will hop into another break after inspecting the scoreboards. Honor with another MVP. I think he's getting a lot of these MVPs in his team. This time on Nodachi. I'm not quite sure if he's always playing Nodachi, but correct me if I'm wrong. Very solid damage here against heroes and units. Getting one Falconetti. A lot of blue shields. Decent mix of units. Well played. Dominating here the scoreboard in his team. On the other side, Violet Evergarden, after subscribing to my channel, immediately abusing the power boost and getting the MVP with her Poleaxe, 101 unit kills. Well played, also solid damage values. So yeah, GD, and we will see us in roughly 18 minutes in the next game. That will be Bandits against APM. Or did I skip match now? I think it's Bandits versus APM, if I'm totally correct. Yeah, but we left this game, so we are heading towards APM versus Bandits, and I would massively appreciate you guys if you stay here and not go over to the main channel. And yeah, we see us in 18 minutes.
Virtue is our noblest heritage. Compassion is the heart of courtly grace. Virtue is our noblest heritage.
Wir waren alle zum Schlafen in der Hütte. Fragen Sie die anderen.
Okay, wissen Sie, ob einer von denen was gegen Melinda hatte?
Jeder von denen. Ich meine, das ist ein Wettbewerb. Und Melinda war die ehrgeizigste von allen. Sie hat zwar immer so süß und unschuldig getan, aber sie hatte es faustdick hinter den Ohren. Angeblich hatte sie sogar einen heimlichen Verbündeten. Eins können Sie mir glauben. Niemand ist, was er vorgibt zu sein hier drin.
Ja. Danke.
Gut, dann werden wir wohl mit allen reden müssen.
Ja. Tja, immerhin können wir uns auf ein Date freuen, wenn wir
The
fertig sind.
Empire's prosperity.
Well, I just got the news, and I don't know what to do.
Wieso hast du mich dann hierher bestellt, wenn nicht zum Trainieren? Oh, warte. Heißt das, du bringst mir Messerwerfen bei?
Nein.
Oh.
Wir sind hier, weil ich mich in dem Apartment nicht mehr willkommen fühle. Chloe denkt, ich will Trixie fressen oder sowas.
Sie muss das erst verarbeiten. Ja, ich hab's auch nicht so gut aufgenommen, als ich's rausgefunden habe, weißt du noch? Okay, aber jetzt, sieh mich an, geht's mir gut. Sogar besser als je zuvor. Will heißen, nimm das alles nicht so persönlich, okay? Zu wissen, dass Himmel und Hölle, Engel und Dämonen existieren, ich meine, das ist ziemlich unheimlich, wenn man's mal bedenkt.
Also deswegen machst du einen auf Tyson. Die Göttin der Schöpfung brutzelt dich noch einmal fast weg und du drehst durch.
Nein, ich meine, naja, Pierce, ich meine, kein, wollte mich auch ermorden lassen, aber tja, wer zählt schon mit?
Okay, Champ. Gönn dir eine Pause, du bist schon seit Stunden zugange.
Ach, komm schon. Ich bin fit. Ich habe Energie ohne Ende. Muss die Gelbwurz sein, die ich in meine Smoothies mache. Linda! Also hören Sie mir zu. Sie können jetzt reinen Tisch machen. Sagen Sie mir einfach, was Sie getan haben, und dann sehen wir weiter.
Ich spiele hier nur ein Spiel, Ma'am. Ich esse Kokosnüsse und hoffe, dass die Sonne mich nicht fertig macht.
Und das, obwohl es Sie nicht stört, Mitspieler fertig zu machen.
Selbst wenn es bedeutet, sie zu ermorden.
Hey, ich bin Anwalt. Naturgemäß würde ich also eine Menge tun, um zu gewinnen. Aber morden würde ich dafür nicht.
Und was ist mit einer Liaison? Einer solchen zu widerstehen wird nicht leichter, wenn man zusammenarbeitet. Spielt, meine ich.
Ich würde nie im Leben mit dem Feind fraternisieren, Sir. Augen auf den Sieg.
Es hat aber Leute gegeben, die sich heimlich mit anderen zusammengetan haben, oder?
Geheimnisse gehören dazu, wie sie auch zum Leben dazugehören. Denn letzten Endes haben wir doch alle ein zweites Gesicht, oder?
Ich auf jeden Fall. Versuchen Sie auch zu überspielen, dass die alle stinken wie eine Büffelherde? Hier gibt's wohl keine Duschen.
Ich kann sie hören.
Tatsächlich, aber können Sie mich auch riechen?
Glauben Sie, Melinda hatte hier Verbündete?
Ob sie jemanden gevögelt hat? Ja, diesen Anwalt. Gar keine Frage.
Wetten, es war Kentucky Joe?
Sie war ein gutes Mädchen, die machen sowas nicht. Aber falls ich mich in ihr getäuscht habe, dann war es dieser Hippie-Kerl. 100 Pro.
Kein Plan, mit wem Melinda hier was hatte. Ich habe sie eher gemieden. Sie war eine falsche Schlange. Allerdings traue ich hier keinem Menschen. Das sind alles Lügner.
Danke.
Danke, Kylie, wir sagen Bescheid.
Verdammt! Je mehr wir von diesen Leuten hören, desto unklarer wird alles. Judd hatte recht. Hier passt keiner in seine Schublade.
Genau darum geht es doch bei diesem Format, Detective. Zu zeigen, dass es keine Stereotypen gibt. Zu zeigen, dass sich eine Mary Ann im Körper einer Ginger verstecken kann oder umgekehrt, was ich für meinen Teil bevorzuge.
Richtig. Sie sind auch so ein Beispiel. Geschichte und Religion haben wirklich kein schmeichelhaftes Bild von ihnen gezeichnet.
Das kann man wohl sagen, Detective.
Das heißt, Sie fressen gar keine kleinen Kinder?
Nein, natürlich nicht. Ich hasse die kleinen Biester. So etwas nehme ich nicht in den Mund.
Jedenfalls, Sie haben Fragen und ich wiederum habe mich gefragt, wann Sie sie stellen würden. Also, immer nur raus damit, ich bin ganz Ohr.
Sie haben Pierce getötet. Der wievielte war er? Nummer 9. Millionen? Zählen Sie überhaupt noch mit?
Nein. Pierce, oder wie ich in seiner Zeit erfolglos versucht habe, begreiflich zu machen, Cain, war der erste Mensch, den ich tötete. Und er wollte sterben, das sei noch gesagt. Den Großteil seines unsterblichen Lebens.
Was ist mit der Hölle?
Ach, klar, darum geht's hier wirklich, oder? Sie wollen wissen, wer da unten ist, richtig? Ich glaube, Sie werden überrascht sein. Jim Morrison zum einen, Gary Coleman.
Nein, ich meine, wie ist es dort unten so? Und hat es Ihnen Spaß gemacht, diese ganzen Leute zu foltern?
Es war ein Job, Detective. Etwas, zu dem ich gezwungen wurde. Sieh an, da hat wohl jemand Dantes Inferno gelesen.
Nun, ich gebe zu, ich habe während meiner Auszeit etwas recherchiert. Deswegen möchte ich auch Ihre Sichtweise verstehen. Aber ganz offenbar ist vieles übertrieben, was ich gelesen habe. Eben eine stereotype Darstellung.
Richtig.
Linda, du hast mir eine scheiß Angst gemacht. Hier, trink.
Gott, das ist Gin.
Ja, nur das Beste für meine Freundin.
Was ist passiert?
Du bist ohnmächtig geworden. Alles okay?
Es geht mir bestens. Ich habe wohl nur zu wenig getrunken.
In Sachen menschlicher Körper bin ich keine Expertin, ausgenommen natürlich Geschlechtsorgane. Aber ich bin mir ziemlich sicher, dass man nicht so ohne weiteres umkippen sollte.
Naja, okay, was wird das jetzt? Tja.
Ich guck nur, ob deine Augen bluten.
Aha, wieso?
Ich habe dieses Buch hier in Lucifers Bibliothek gefunden und blutende Augen sind offenbar schlecht.
Okay.
And we are back with the bands that I have to give you guys right here on the screen. Kokos saved and Modao saved for Bandits. Lion Rock Crew ban, pretty standard nowadays. Star Wars ban, Zealots ban. I guess APM did not want to get cheesed like Rough Justice. And Siphonari ban, Ganyu Dao ban. Interesting, but I guess Bandits prefer Hussars anyway. And Rattan Vipers ban. So yeah, I'm quite surprised, not gonna lie. Like the Modao save for Bandits, I think is, I'm not quite sure how to think about it, because that might point to more like structure in their play, and they preferred chaos in the last games. So yeah, maybe they're coming up with something unexpected again and go for more structure around the Modaos. And of course, we are waiting here in the lobby a little bit, and we can definitely enjoy a little bit of theory crafting. How will Bandits come up against APM? I think both teams had a little bit of a rough time so far in the tournament. So I think we might see a pretty even matchup here. I definitely hope that Bandits do a good development and maybe learn from their mistakes, because I feel like this tournament, they were not looking as strong as in the past Area Cup, where they brought a lot of like fresh air. They tried to be fresh, they tried to be innovative, and they very often got away with it and got some nice surprises onto their opponents. But I feel like this tournament, all the surprising factors looked a lot of the time more like Bandits getting surprised by themselves, and the opponent, like every opponent so far, looked a lot prepared. You know, like they didn't get caught by surprise. They played structured. Bandits tried chaos, but got massively punished in a lot of games for it. So yeah, I do hope that Bandits now show a very good game. And also APM, I guess they also had a rough time. They had like back-to-back strong opponents with Rough Justice and Yep Buddy. Do I remember that correctly? I'm actually not quite sure. But I think APM also struggled a little bit in their past matches. If you know, just correct me what the last matches of APM were. But yeah, I know both players, or the both sides players. So as always, we try to be fair, point out mistakes where we see them, highlight the good plays, and hopefully enjoy some new strategies, because that's one of the reasons I very often choose Bandits games, because they have a tendency to do something unexpected. Not always, you know, like the strategically most best thing, maybe, but definitely unexpected, and that, at least for me, makes the game already worth to watch, because then we see some new strategies, some new input, sometimes also like unconventional unit comps. That's something I would love to see. APM, on the other hand, I feel like they became a lot of an academy team, because I think they're giving a lot of people chances that didn't do a lot of competitive before. At least what I think currently. But they play very predictable, I feel like. So I think we see here a clash of predictable team versus unpredictable team. It's a team that is focusing more on playing solid against a team that is trying to surprise and might end up surprising themselves. And we might, definitely interesting to see which concept is the more reliable one, which concept gets you further. I think both teams have good and maybe less experienced players, so I'm not 100% sure who will take the win, and I think that's the best games. If I have to bet, I'm not sure. Like, maybe put your predictions in the chat, what you think who will win, and maybe also why. That could be interesting. I think for me, it's very, very hard to guess. I mean, since I was in Bandits a long time ago, I might just put my guess on Bandits and hope that innovative strats are superior to playing more predictable. That's something I want to think, but I'm not quite convinced, and I think it's a 50-50 game. So the best setup to have real fun watching it. I am back again, and I hope you guys are as well. I just took a very short and quick look onto my break screen. I just want to check it. And I do hope that the lobby is filling up, because we are already 2 minutes late, and I do definitely want to see the game as soon as possible, because waiting is not my greatest quality. Also, for all the people asking Queen for subs in the chat, I would actually like you guys to consider buying them by yourself. Of course, because I'm getting them. But nah, to be fair, Queen has already been so generous. So, yeah. Thanks a lot to her. And yeah, I think a certain decency with asking for them would be also great. I think it's a gift and no one can... requesting gifts is a little bit... So, yeah, consider maybe subscribing by yourself, so you get access to my VODs in perfect quality, etc. blah blah. And also access to my nice emotes that you can spam on every channel. They are all handcrafted with AI by me. So, yeah. Maybe consider the subscribe. It would massively help me out and make me happy. You also get some nice emotes as a little thank you. Or if you have a Prime sub left over, I mean, it's early in the month, maybe you have some, I would also massively appreciate it. And then you get all the access for free. But I even have to start advertising, spending money on myself, because the game is not launching, guys. You see what you are making me do. Selling out every little bit of my stream as much as possible. So, in case, if we have to continue with making advertisements, in case you want to watch the VOD afterwards because you missed the game, there is my YouTube channel. I will upload the games somewhere in the night. That takes some time because I'm directly uploading from Twitch to YouTube. And if you want to get in touch with the CBR, if you want to check the stats, the games that are upcoming, or if you want a link to the Discord, it's all on the homepage. I will also post in the chat, so you guys stay in touch. And you guys, know the best. And if you are interested in joining a team also, definitely check out the homepage, join the Discord of the CBR. Look for a team, and you might get in touch with people that might give you a chance to try you out in this competitive environment. We definitely need more people that start competing, that enjoy competing, so we can enjoy this type of content more and more. Also, Shrew, thanks a lot for the nice words. As always, I do enjoy watching your games. And that's why I'm, of course, casting them as much as I can. And I was also begging the organizers to not put Rough Justice and your team on the same slot. And I just hope you guys keep entertaining me. And yeah, also, you can watch it on YouTube. In case you want to use a different platform, VODs, I think, stay visible for 2 weeks on Twitch currently. Yeah, that's the downside of Twitch. And one of the reasons I started uploading to YouTube. Also, I think the download from YouTube for the organizers, etc., for making the cut versions, etc., is also easier. Other than that, my YouTube channel is not the most interesting, since I'm not currently planning to put a lot of content on it, because a lot of content types that would fit on YouTube either take a lot of work, and I'm not good at cutting videos. I actually do not enjoy cutting videos, and I also not make enough money to justify paying someone to cut these videos. And on the other hand, like easier content, like, you know, like a little highlight as a short, etc. That would be easier. I do not feel like I would be watching the content, and my only rule of how I make content is I make content that I personally would watch myself. So yeah, don't expect too much of my YouTube channel. Do not subscribe to it, because it's most likely not worth it and just spamming your notifications. But from time to time after the games, you can definitely find the VODs there. And yeah, it's posted on my Discord as a reminder when the VODs come up. I think that's enough. Oha, Matt is not mod. Very, very sad. Slayer picking a unit. I'm very, very sorry, buddy. I cannot give you a unit right now since I'm not playing myself. But I try to remember it for the next game stream. I think it will not be this evening. I think my voice is already too cracked up to really speak a lot after the games. But maybe I play some death matches. We might find out. Also, Matt, what do you pay for becoming a mod? Ah, come on, Matt. Tell me, tell me. Okay, I guess you will answer with love, respect, and gentle touches after the stream. So here's your mod, Matt. Okay, and after talking so much trash, we finally popped into the last game of the evening, guys. APM versus Bandits. APM attacking, Bandits defending. And we see a lot of Shenjis on both sides. Very tricky unit to play around. I would argue it's even harder than using flames correctly. And we also see some Hwang on the APM side, maybe to catch off these Shenjis on rotation or in their throwing positions. Definitely a smart pick, but also leaving the player with not a lot of good options here, unit choice wise. Also, Granny Lover in the chat thinks that Queen likes the Germans more than the Irish, and since I'm German, that must be the case for sure. Acclamator, thanks a lot for your follow, buddy. Thanks for supporting the channel. Come on, guys. We are 2 off the 500 goal. That actually sounds nice, and I do not want to bot it anyway. So yeah, feel free. If you have not followed my channel, at least my Twitch channel is semi-active. And as long as there's tournaments, I'm very active, at least on the tournament days, since this is my favorite content to stream. Currently, during the week, I'm not streaming as much of my personal gameplay, if you're interested in it. Because, yeah, work and scrims are taking a lot of my streaming time. And when I'm tired, I might not feel like playing a lot of CB. And then I'm not streaming. So yeah, another tower pushing phase, another questioning time of are the war rockets going down left and right? And then we have to wait if the A point is getting held by the defending bandits or not. So far, no sally out, which would have also been something bandits might have committed to. But I do think the only team that tried to sally out I saw, I don't even know if it was an official match against Arts and Rough Justice, did absolutely get murdered for it. Because, you know, like all these barricades and stuff, they're blocking Kev charges, and you can hide behind it and outplay the Kev with it. And yeah, if a team is semi-aware, they have this perfect supply here. The RT is going to get shot out or shot down by the attackers also, so you're not capable of really doing damage with the RT to the defending units. So sally outs on this map are not the greatest idea, at least from my experience. But yeah, it would have been an idea for bandits. But maybe Bandits feel like they're playing more solid against the APM because they have good chances. Okay, Queen also begging for mod. I see how it is. But I guess it is deserved. It reminded me after the game that I will give you your mod. Because currently I have to focus on this amazing tower pushing phase. And the action in the breach that we barely missed. Manolo Master. No! You died a hero, but you died alone. Most likely an unnecessary death, unfortunately. These will not matter in the next push, but they definitely will matter in the fight on the C plateau. Because there the reinforcement times definitely matter a lot for both sides, for defender and attacker. So every unnecessary death will make it more difficult. So yeah, early catches will be good, but dying for it is not really worth it for the attacker. And Bandits are looking like at least baiting on the A point. A lot of units are down on the ground. Maybe they are going for a late retake. That could be a Bandit thing to do, but no. Also not a lot of delay for APM because they were already organized and using all of the units to get onto the A cap. Bandits also doing the correct thing of then retreating the units now after they showed they will not defend the A point, but they could still bait the supply in front. They're doing it with some units, but not really effectively, so they're not really wasting more time of APM. APM also taking the standard rotation towards the B side, taking B supply and B point, which makes sense. It gives you an insight of the city's supply that you can use, so you're not relying on this right side supply, even if it's getting blocked. But it's not the most convenient supply, because towards the main road, you only have to this little gap here between the houses, or you have to go like around here. I think there's a little gate, and there, or like over the main road. So this supply is not really effective, and arguably this supply is the same speed. Bandits also taking all the units to the rotation. That looks like they're also trying this push over the end cap, maybe. Bandits also in the past did some of these longer routes already. I remember the wall fort all over the back end cap kind of rotation from Bandits for getting good trebuchets in. But that's a very ancient thing. That was a strategy I was also playing with them. And it looks like they are also committing for it. But I would... Oh wait. APM committing for it. I'm very sorry, messing it up. I saw a Bandit-like move and I was immediately making it the Bandits. I'm very sorry, I corrected. Blue defending side are the Bandits. Red side APM also established on the top of the screen for you guys. So I'm very sorry, and I correct everything I said and say the opposite afterwards. But the defending Bandits lineup is not as well positioned. I think they are holding the standard positions they wanted to hold in the first place for the frontside push, maybe. But they definitely should go more for a two-sided hold like YBAcademy. They did it actually great, because having this supply blocked by a solid chunk of units and waiting behind the pillar was actually a very good setup. And I'm not a huge fan, because now APM has the free rotation towards the supply point. And I do hope they're at least getting some players there. Some Kokos flying. Solid trap into the rotation. Also punishing some of the Kokos. APM not really blocking supply. Oh, this is not the greatest idea, not blocking the supply. And having these guys here in the Nirvana not doing anything. These guys either should have pushed onto the supply or went down onto the main fight to hard wipe there and then send up heroes to the supply block later. Not the best execution by APM, but they are definitely making it here onto the point. And Bandits paid a heavy price on this trap, and they're getting wiped on the point with this mixture of special damage and trap. Also, the Bandit specials are exposed, but are not getting punished until now. So they got out a lot of salvos for free. Now Bandits also making their way back onto the point. Supply is continuously not getting blocked by APM. And this is like, yeah, this is the type of mistake I do not want to see in the first division. Not having a consistent supply block, because these supply blocks are absolutely crucial. Because if you're not blocking this supply, you're getting absolutely wrecked by this very short way reinforcements. But APM also getting got reinforcements on the point. Having enough anti-cav there to resist all these swarming bandits on their cavs. They definitely could have expected, but too many different angles for the cav make a lot of anti-cav even useless, and bandits get the wipe on APM. And now bandits are also going aggressive for this front supply, at least blocking it, but also killing units that are waiting for the reset there. Good aggression and something I definitely like to see.
Wipe them out.
And bandits here solidly on the front supply. Also trying aggression over the flank with the cav here in the open. But APM deep on their own inside supply, resetting in safety. And bandits definitely need to get rid of these cavs, reset to a solid infantry warband. And it's only 7 minutes on the clock while having 1,000 units. So maybe APM will choose a different attack angle and not go for the full rotation again, because it's wasting a lot of time. And if they go for the big rotation once again, they definitely need to make sure that they are blocking the supply way better. I would have even recommended, because the bandits were waiting in this area so deep and so far away from this bridge, they could have maybe even went for an aggressive push onto the supply. Because if the supply is falling, and you then just manage to block this supply, you have a very solid position to fight off the C point. Because you can reinforce from this side, perfectly trap all the time in front of C point, where the bandits' main forces are and where they're getting reinforced. That would have been the better position to abuse. And they are going for round number 2 APM with another rotation over the end cap. Are bandits adjusting their defense positions? I do hope so, because even if you win the fight, you can learn from it and make adjustments on the fly. And it looks like it, that they have a more solid warband here on the right side, including some archers. Some nice filthy fire archers that might get rid of the Kokos very fast and might find a good snipe on the Shenjis. That would already be insta GG for this lineups. I think we are trying to see this fight from this perspective here on the top. I'm not quite sure. Nah, I'm switching perspective again. And the fire archers are shooting into the blob. I see some flames, but the Kokos are coming late. Ah, but they are still getting fired. But some at least made it through. And now the APM is going straight for the point once again and getting absolutely sandwiched again. Trap. Timing solid, but not too many bandits in the trap area. Good two-sided split here in the front. And also the backside of the bandits is doing solid work. Unfortunately, the bandit cav is not really getting through too much anti-cav there in the back. And APM makes it through the front into the Bandit specials. While getting eaten in the back a little bit. Very chaotic, no clear winner so far, but now the revive attempt by the Hussars. Not a long charge way, not the best idea to charge this way. I would have actually liked to see a Bandit approach with the Hussars. If he cannot get an angle here, he could have retreated to this direction and tried to get through here. A longer charge where the anti-cav was not stacked. He also came very late and then did not make the charge really count. But now more and more Bandits arrive with their cavs that they could pull. These Hussars not really made through, get also stuck in the wall and deleted by heroes. Good gameplay here by the heroes. Immediately punishing these Hussars. More Bandits respawning with more cav. Wiping APM off the point. And now we're getting time critical. Unit rate is good enough for APM, and unit rate wise they are winning. But only 3 minutes on the clock left, and they need to take at least 6 to 7 more seconds on the C point. And Bandits have the time to reset another time. 2 minutes 30 most likely. And good decision here by APM to take this front supply. Because even like even if they start wasting double units in brute force into these Bandit blobs, that's okay because they need to beat the timer. That's the most interesting thing. But I'm not quite sure if a brute force through this like very small choke as a main attack idea is the way. They should have at least split 50-50 to the stair, to the top here. Because Bandits have Shenjis on Valushka, and Valushka is throwing into this very tiny choke. But also Bandits getting blobbed up. And the attacking Shenjis might do something. Unit trade by APM loses the unit trade. More and more. But as I said, it's not the most critical thing. The time is getting lower and lower, and it does not look like the Bandits are falling. These Sawang are not doing enough DPS here on the close range. Even if it's the perfect range to use them with Artemis. Abusing the headshots with Artemis and a lot of fire rate after the arrow rain got nerfed and does not apply all the damage multipliers anymore. APM leading more and more units and still not making it through. 1 minute left on the clock. At least one Bandit always on the C point, but already the unit trade dropped into a height where even the back cap of the C point would not guarantee APM the win anymore. How do we think about this? I do think in the first push APM got beaten by the inconsistent supply blocks, 100%, and Bandits did good reinforcements. And also APM did not really address this issue well, and they didn't even try to go for the supply in the second attempt. I think in both attempts they should have gone for the supply because Bandits were waiting way too far away. And if the supply is falling, you have a way better position, as I explained before, to get the C point, especially when you have so much time left. Here in the end, directly going in, like in the third push, going directly for C was absolutely fine because there you just need to brute force the cap, whatever it takes. Also, the amount of units that can be pulled in the second rotation is massively reduced and supplies start losing value in the later phase of the game. And Santa the Tender alone on the top, taking out Phalanx, taking out shields, taking out Shenji Grenadiers. Unfortunately, he is pretty alone on top of his team with the 203 unit kills outstanding performance, also solid damage value against units. On side of the bandits, a lot of hero kills and unit kills on bandit era with very solid damage against heroes. A lot of shield maiden kills and Shenji kills. Well played. Taking out Shenji is very important. Also showing off a pike that makes me a lot happy a lot, because I do like to see pikes, even if I personally think it's not the best class for competitive currently. But I mean, 2 pikes on the top of bandits definitely show there is some space where you can make this class work. Also, second player here shown on the scoreboard, and maybe also not that far behind actually, because the scoreboards are still ruined. Also with 10 unit kills, hero kills, and 101 unit kills, Atagi. Also well played, making the pike shine in this game. And after a very short drinking phase, for me, we are returning with game number 2 of Bandits versus APM. Bandits then in the attack, and we see what they are doing. And we are back with a quick reminder of the banned and saved units for you guys. So you can just quickly see it on screen, and then we are already tapping into the lobby screen so we can finally cast the final match of the evening. And I also feel like the final match for my voice. But I risk everything for you guys to make you guys happy and enjoy my favorite type of CB content in the first row, because that's absolutely a privilege to see, to have my own camera inspecting the matches from an angle I prefer, I want to see. So yeah, I'm also very thankful for it, for the organizers, for letting me cast this. And now enough speech before the game. Launch the lobby, guys. I am ready. The teams are ready, as it looks like. And we are going to clap. Also, we have the question in the chat by IC EU420, or some other variation of pronunciation of the numbers. Maybe he wants to be 420 and not EU4, but we will find out. In this, is the season proving Blackwing is washed as a caller? I actually do not know if it's like washed as a caller. I mean, to be fair, like the rotation over the back supply, over the back and the end cap was not too bad of an idea, but I think the decision making when it comes to pushing supply or the point was not the best, and it got even worse, and I think that's definitely not a fault of Blackwing, by his players not properly blocking the supply and rotating the players on the supply. Because I think that's a team thing. Like, people that play a class that is capable of supply blocking, they definitely need to do it. You need to find like a form of organization in your team where you make sure that always crucial supplies get blocked. And I do not think it's always only the shot caller's mistake if this is not happening. But maybe a great shot caller, you know, like someone who's like actually really knowing what's the strength and weakness of his teamer, might have realized that his team is not really capable of playing uninterrupted supply disruption, and adapted, you know, like with a push onto the supply. Maybe that would have been a great adaptation by the shot caller. But on the other hand, we did not see, you know, like how it really would have played out if you went for the supply with his whole team immediately. So we are just the smart asses in the aftermath saying, yeah, we definitely know how it would have been better. And at least in my case, it's an educated guess. But we have not seen it, how it would have played out. So I would not call Blackwing washed for it, 100%. He also has not, like, you know, like an absolute all-star player team where I would like be like, okay, you know, like these players are insanely good and should outperform their opponents by huge margin. And the difference is the shot caller. I think that's also not the case. So I would not make it a Blackwing issue. I would definitely say, as most problems in competitive gaming, it's always a team issue they need to work on as a team. And of course the shot caller is part of the team. And yeah. But besides that, definitely shout out to Blackwing. I do like his work for the CB community. Like putting so much work in making teams over and over. I mean, one of the area cups, I think the first area cup, he was also kind of saving the tournament by also last second making a team so they could fill the slots, etc. So I do not want to talk him for it, even if he's not the most successful shot caller in the history of CB. But I mean, to be fair, this is not a position that most of us have. I think I don't have it. I guess, yeah, most people in the chat do not have it as well. So yeah, I would not judge him too harshly for it in general. But we definitely do always judge the decisions made in the game with the grain of salt that we do not know how it would have turned out alternatively with our plans that we would have preferred. the argument about the TW, I mean, I've not seen Blackwing's TW shot callings, so I cannot judge it at all. But I definitely do want to make the point that TW shot calling and shot calling in tournaments is like two absolute different worlds. These worlds have barely something in common. They work totally different. Nice first catch of the fallen down player. But yeah, like TW and tournaments work absolutely totally different. And someone who's a great shot caller for TW might even be a bad shot caller for tournaments and vice versa. Because the way like the strats work, the way you have to call, the perspective you're calling in is totally different. And you have to learn both of these scenarios as a shot caller by themselves. And there's only a very small portion of skills you can transition. So yeah, I can't judge the shot calling part for TW, so I'm not doing it. But yeah, I mean, if that's your view, and you can back it up with like examples, that might be the case and might be true. But as always, take everything with a grain of salt and do not go too much into the extremes without having extreme proof of your thesis. And on a human level, I definitely appreciate Blackwing a lot. He's a very friendly guy. He gives a lot of people chances to play and learn the competitive side of the game. And that's definitely something we all have to appreciate, because some of these players make their way also into stronger teams. And I mean, to be fair, APM is still in the first division. We can't forget it. And of course, it's a little bit unthankful to be one of the weaker teams in the first division. Because it might look more glorious if you're dominating the third or second division. But yeah, formally, he and his team, they are still better than all the second and third division teams, because they are playing in the higher division. And they have to fight these crazy or more crazy teams. So of course they look not as good. And a lot of players here again by APM getting caught on the A point. I'm not quite sure if Mango was supposed to stay there that long. But nonetheless, he pays with his life for either being the one to be sacrificed or to being the one who is too late or not paying attention. And now, after all the discussion about Blackwing as a shot caller, we are going back to focus on the game. APM with more units to burn, that's something we need to keep in mind. And Bandits, so far, with a free and uncontested front supply cap here. Something I do not appreciate, by the way, guys. If you are playing this game in competitive level and you find yourself having 10 to 15 people AFK here, while one person is capping here, that's a mistake. You can't just run here, try to kill them, and if you see they're pulling down units or the scenario is getting uncontrolled and dangerous, you can just still go back, but try to catch these people. Because we already established the idea that long death timers for this plateau fight on C are absolutely terrifying for both sides. So you need to gain these advantages. And now, after the supply is caught, then you do the sell out with the heroes. Okay? But you see how effective this is. One pick is already made, a second one is coming, a third might be possible, but Avalushka on top here, not getting killed. But you see, I love it, by the way. APM, thanks a lot for proving my point that quick and effective deathmatch action with your heroes is getting you these little advantages, and especially against teams that are not like super aware and super confident, like Bandits as well. You get these advantages for this concentrated actions. Good shot calling here. Whoever was the shot caller or player who called for the catch, very well done. Good execution by APM in the end, after missing the first opportunity. So yeah, I appreciate and like it. And this is the reasons, these guys might not look always like as if they 100% belong in the first division. because when they get paired up against like these top tier teams like Yeah Buddy. But they do show good practice, like these good hero catches here, abusing their dual blades, abusing the poleaxes with the CC, and getting little advantages, you know? That's good practice, and we definitely do not see this as much in Rustic Division, for example. So there is a reason why they're in First Division, and we need to respect it. And as long as we are waiting for the Bandit rotation, I think it looks like a split. Okay, it looks like a split. Some people over the end cap, maybe, and some people to this direction. I like this idea, by the way, more than the 100% over the end cap walk. If they're actually doing it, I'm actually a fan of it. And then as long as we are waiting for the action to happen, I can also answer Queen's question. Did you unlock the new tier 5 this season? No, I'm close to unlocking it, but I'm not playing as much because I'm playing mostly scrims currently. And you did not look strong enough. So I'm not feeling forced to buy it. And since I'm also not playing TW, I was already careful with my buy decision in the first place. Very interesting. APM with the answer. And I'm actually a fan of it. Not letting people get out into the space where you can get trapped is a good thing. And answering them in the trap safe area here, very good thing. But you definitely need to count correctly so you're not leaving the bigger fight with fewer numbers. That would be the worst case scenario. And it looks like Bandits, 3 units here on the top. To make these archers, these fire archers work. Good idea to counter the specials, but also putting them in the number disadvantage on the actual fighting field. So these specials need to die to these flame archers. APM also decided to only send 2 players up. So they have the main force here on the ground, and if they manage to win on the ground, that's actually very crucial. Holy shit, this Cav made it way too deep through. Good timing here, catching them on the stairs. The anti-Cav was not in front and got punished. And this looks like a very, very good fight for APM. But now the trap is coming in. Bandit Cav imploded in the phalanx. But late reaction by the APM players to the trap. But getting lucky that they did not get punished for it. And that would also be a player mistake, not a shot caller mistake, if this trap would have punished them. Bandit setup slowly getting eaten on the top. More APM players rotated. And APM wins both fights. Actually, good shot calling in this area for sure. Good split of the forces, good reaction. And the Bandits idea, that was definitely new and spicy. Getting the counter to the specials on the top of the wall there. Was interesting, but did not work perfectly in their favor. But the aftermath of the fight is bleeding some more APM units, and we're back to the original difference of 200 units. And Bandits gaining a lot of space here on the plateau. Good trap as well into APM, and as much as I liked how APM played in the first fight, I'm not liking their reset, their timing and their positioning for the reset. Bandits getting crucial space here, APM hovering the trappable areas, and the supply already being blocked and not immediately freed. Another trap being very dangerous, and Bandits got all the fire archers on the plateau for free. APM dripping in one by one and bleeding a lot of units. Unit rate now already close to equal. Only 100 difference now from the original 200 that we have to keep in mind. A lot of Bandits range. Very, very uncommon. And Vera, another brutal cuff over the point. But also APM cuff clashing into these anti-cuffs. But no, not a lot of sheet units, and so Santa the Tender can farm with her Sarang. Lot of chaos on the point, and now the question is always, as always on this map, do the reinforcements get through? Way better block of the supply by the bandits. Maybe they can even cap it. And they're also out damaging them on this on the point, already getting the majority of the units on the point, and it looks like APM is calling in for the reset. We already see units retreating. Some people dying to the Kev with their shield maidens. A very ungrateful and brutal death under the hoofs of the bandit Kev. And here we have... Oh, the Kev getting caught in the waiting position. Come on, guys, you need to reset these units behind the point, or you're getting eaten by the fast running bandits. Run, little Kev, run. Bandits are making the game fast. Unit rate is even, so maybe not the worst idea to make the game fast. Good trap into the rotation by bandits. Huge improvements here on the basics, but Hussars into Phalanx is not improvement on the basics. That's absolute garbage. We do not want to see this, dear bandits. You love Kev, so do not waste them like this. Phalanx have the longer one compared to Hussars. Never underestimate the length of a Phalanx, or you get fucked. And bandits with the infantry on the entrance and retreating a little bit out of the fire of the massive Hawang and Fire Archer fire. And it looks like they definitely do not want to rush anymore. And they're going for a slow reset. 5 minutes on the clock, 600 versus 600 units. 5 minutes for 2 unit trades. Like 650 units is roughly 2 unit trades still. It's not a lot of time. So bandits definitely need to set up their next push quite quickly, or they will not, or they will rely on a very clean wipe. And so far they did not really clean wipe APM in any fights. So yeah, I would rather go for a quick repositioning. And it looks like bandits are sending some players here over the top. Maybe to secure the high ground for their archers. And APM knows it and also repositions at least 2 of their musket players here to the top. To maybe counter it. Okay, Bandit look like they are splitting for a 3-sided push maybe. Good action by the Hawang player. Very, very smart. Good pick. Very, very good. This can be game deciding actually. Hawang are not amazing in the arrow rain, but for killing range, it's enough damage. And they got a huge pick here on the Fire Archers. And no return kills for the Bandits. And the Hawang player might come in for a second arrow rain. Bandits are wasting more and more time. And this is getting time critical. Guys, they only have 3 minutes 50 for 2 pushes. And that might actually be already bad. Oh, the Hawang player being the MVP again. Taking out a set of Shenjis. And now another set of Flame Archers as well. Very, very well played by this Hawang player. Deciding the match for APM maybe alone already. If these Hawang are not getting contested anymore and Bandits lose all their specials, besides this one set of Kokos, these Hawang will do crazy damage. And now they should not fall to the trap, because this trap is predictable. And then these Hawang... the Hawang player, come on. Yeah, he got most of them out. He's not falling to the poleaxe, not falling to the trap. But this is not enough. APM getting mostly wiped on the point here. Very, very intense final here for these two teams. Or finish of the game. Unit trade equal. Hawang finally are falling to the hero play of the Bandits. How much did they mess up the infantry play when they already won the special play so much? Crazy play by the Hawang player, but it was not enough. But APM are coming back now with a very, very big blob of units. Don't fall for the during the rotation. You need to make space on the bottom. Walk, 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 APM. You cannot get trapped here. You know that the trap is coming. You cannot sit there. You don't need to care about the Cocos. They will die anyway because they need to move and die in the heroes or die in the trap. But you need to get on the point. Unit rates getting worse. The trap and the calves of the bandits are taking the toll on the APM defender units. And now the point is getting kept more and more. They need to stretch themselves onto this point. But it's not enough. What a finish to this match. Well played to the bandits. Shiruanu with an outstanding performance on this duel here. Very, very good damage against Hero. 221 plus, a very good value for competitive. Solid Harvey units. Unit kills look like good unit management at 13-0. Outstanding player by the dual build Shiruanu. Actually, I need to put on my mental list. Well played. Outside Santa, I think he was the guy who played the one. Insane performance once again, but unfortunately not enough to win his game. And I guess that's how we finish this evening. My voice is cracking. There's not a lot of nut talk need to do to what happened to, but GG's to Bandits and AP. And you guys, I hope you have a great evening.